Hey guys, good day. In this video, we are going to add the delete feature, so it will allow us to delete records of our users in our database. And then after this video will be an update feature. So let's get started. So previously we were able to create users in the app. So test one, then add a user, and as you can see here, the numbers of users is added is updated, and as you can see the users we added is in the table. And now let's add a new column, and in that column, so it's from the users add page, and here, so we'll just call this one as action, and then here let's add a new TD element. We should have edit and then delete button. So here we can just use an A tag, and then so the class here we're going to use an icon, so it should be an I. Class is, I think it's remove. Okay, use pencil. So since we need to edit, then for the delete is we need to use trash icon. And now here in our, so as you can see, it's an A tag, it will refresh the current page. But now we are going to use jQuery. So it's JavaScript and then jQuery or an AJAX in order to how do you call that one? Process the deletion and then the editing of the records. So first is we need to add a script tag or a GS. So this script GS here is for all our pages. So since this one we are going to create only our script that will run specific for this file or this page, you can just add a new script tag, and here we can write the code. So first is need to create a function, so and start any variable. Let's just do bar script, then a function, so we'll create the function. So let's just remove this one, so a function, and then we'll add a functioning. Let's click script, then inside this we add all the functionalities and then properties. But for now let's just use script and then call the function, then we call the initialize method from this function. So first is we need to create this method, since if you are going to run refresh, and as you can see in the console, script that initialize not yet, it's not a function. So here we can use this, which refers to the current script or function or object, then initialize, then it's a function, and here let's create a new function, call it register events. So from the name itself, this function will hold all the events that the current page will have. And then so let's just create that one. And then so the first thing is the delete. So for now, let's add a class, and we call this one is delete user. And here in JavaScript, we'll need to add a function that once we click on the delete icon, it won't refresh the page, but just prompt us a message that are we sure that we are going to do it, just see confirmation that we are really deleting the record. So back to the code, so you can use document that get add event listener, call this one event, and then a function. So this here is the name of the event, which is click. And if we're going to check if this works, it's just console or echo hi, print hi in the console. So if I click, you can see it's showing hi. So since this is specific for the delete element, this e variable, we can actually log it or log its data. As you can see, it will have the event data, and what we are looking is, so it depends. So right now we need to check if the delete button is clicked, and to determine that this is the delete button, we're going to use the class. So that means we need to use or get the class, which we are able to do using the e object or e variable. And the way to do that one is, so it's a class, so we are expecting an array classes. So class list, so e.target that class list, this should pull all the classes. So click, as you can see we have dashboard token here, it's empty, but if we click the delete, as you can see it's showing us, but it's refreshing, so that's its normal mechanism. So we need to remove or prevent the page from loading, and the reason why it's loading because it's an a tag, which is the default behavior is to reload the page once it is clicked. So here we can put an a that prevent default, so this will prevent loading of page. As you can see, it did not reload the page, instead it displays the class list. And now, since this is an array, we can use statement with E or class list that include so delete user, or you can use index of. So this function will check if the delete user is inside this variable or inside the array. It's not equal to -1. That means so this function will return -1 if an item is not found, and a positive number or the position of the element or the search element in the class list if it is found. So let's try logging again. Found. So as you can see, index of is not a function. Let's try to test test that. Okay, let's try to. So actually we don't need to use the index of, so instead we can use contains, which will check so the same process, return true or false. So let's refresh. As you can see, it's found. That means we are able to, we are clicking the delete button. So next is so if you are going to click all the A tag or any element, just it did not redirect us to the dashboard page, so we just need to put this one inside this statement, so it will only work for the deletion. So if we're going to click the dashboard, it will still work. So the add user, if we edit or delete, so only for the delete method, in which it will not reload the page. So now so next thing is we need to determine what data are we going to submit to the delete function in our server in order to delete the record. So in this case we need to submit the ID, because this is the unique identifier, the unique identifier for this record. So we can't use first name because there might be multiple records that has the same or that have the same name, so that will delete all those records. So instead of just deleting one record, so we need to find the unique, and in this, for this one, the unique is the ID. So in our delete button, we can submit or use, we can actually add data or any attribute we can. So we can use user ID, and then here we need to send or insert the user ID. So if I'm going to refresh, as you can see here, it will use 19 because this is the user ID in our database, which is 16. So after that one, we can use or also the name. So user that first name, then last name, so refresh. As you can see here, let's just update this one, use F name, L name. So as you can see here, if we look or check the element, you can see the F name and then the L name is passed into HTML attributes. And the reason why we do this one is in JavaScript we can pull these attributes. So can use target element and then e.target. So let's just use or replace this one with it, and then here we can get all this data. So the way to do that one is, first we need to use user ID, so we can have target element that data set and then the name of the data. So we didn't need to include this one but only the user ID. Let's do console or paint it in the console. Click data list. Actually it's right, should be data set, but instead of the function use that, which is the property. And let's refresh. 19, 17, as you can see it's working. Let's try to pull the F name. So same thing, use F name, L name, so let's try to log those data. As you can see, 19 test on, 17 equal Kidman. So that's right. So now it's used. So before we send the data to the users, I mean to the server for processing, let's add a confirmation message that we really want to delete, or I mean delete the record. So we can use Windows confirm. Windows confirm, so we can have if window the confirm, are you sure to delete? Echo or log will delete. Let's try. Are you sure to delete? Okay. As you can see, once we click the OK, it will show will delete. And if we show else, will not delete. So click the delete, will delete, and cancel, will not delete. So it's working. Now let's try to, so if you can see here, if I'm the user, are you sure to delete? And then I think it would be good to show the first name, the last name, or the records instead of the ID or just this one, so it is more meaningful. So we can use user ID or F name delete So let's concatenate. Well, actually you can just use our full name, f name plus middle name. Then we are going to put that here. So let's click the delete. As you can see, I surely want to delete. So here we are going to use AJAX, which is a jQuery plugin. This will simplify the process of the AJAX will be deleting the elements without reloading the page. So it's calling live the server, which does not include reloading the page. So in our end it will look like fast processing, since we don't need to do reloading, and this will add the user interaction with the page. So yeah, right now we need to insert our download jQuery and put it in our folders or inside the IMS file. So now we'll just need to download jQuery. So I just downloaded jQuery, and then in our file I just put it inside the GS folder, and then I created a new folder called jQuery, and then inside is the file, and can just visit jQuery to download the file, and then just click on this one and save the file to that folder. So now we need to put the script or integrate called the jQuery file here. So it's called jQuery, and then 3.5.1.min.gs, that is the minified version. GS jQuery 3.5. Okay, so it's now loaded. As you can see, there's no error. So now we are going to call the AJAX function. So first is method. Since this is deletion of data, which very sensitive, we use post instead of get. And then the data, which or what data are going to send to the server. So basically you can just use the user ID. So user ID, so this is data will accept an object. So just send the user ID. Then the URL, this is the PHP file in which you are going to process the data or delete the user. So here we can just add a new file. We call this one delete user.php, and then we can just call database delete user.php. So let's try delete. Okay, and that, so in your console or in your developer tools in Chrome, you can go to network, and as you can see, if I'm going to trigger the deletion, it will show us a transactions, or how to call that one, the API, I mean the AJAX code that we made URL request, and then also we'll have the data since we have the user ID. So this will process the deletion, and here let's create a PHP file or open tag, and then let's just pull the data. So as you can see, this here will pull all the data we submitted. So let's just bar down the data. So now, since it's fetching live without reloading the page, we don't need to reload every time we update the delete user page. So if I'm going to click that one, so you can see give us the data. So user ID, then the data is the key name, and let's just transform this one to integer. Now as you can see, now we are going to delete the user, and let's just copy some code. So here, this one here, we can just copy, then paste. So here we can just delete this for now, and then we can use the delete statement. Delete from users, which is the name of our users. The name of our table users, where ID equals user ID. So let's try to bottom the command and see if it will dynamically update the user ID. So click the delete. As you can see here, ID equals 19, ID is 18, ID is 14. So I think I'll go to delete the users. So let's execute the command, and then here let's try to set the data type to JSON so we can easily parse or process the response. So here you go, we can just use. So let's set the status to true, or maybe success true, then messages user successfully deleted. We can also pull the first name, last name. Let's remove this one. Then here the same thing, we return a JSON, but set this one to false. Message will be error processing your request. So since the first name and last name is not yet initialized, so if you remember, we get the first name and L name variable, so we can just use that one here. The L name and the same thing is we update the key so first name and last name. So let's try to delete. So currently we have 17 users, and we delete, so it returns a success, but as you can see it returns an error. So line 16, so we forgot to put a dot here. Then also we'll need to remove the int since it's not, it should be a string. So let's refresh. So currently we have 17 users. Delete, and line 16. Okay, so this one, we'll remove that one. We tried it again. So let's refresh. As you can see, it is now 16. However, it did not return this data. Let's try again. Oh, okay. Instead of return, we can use echo. So this should be 15 since we deleted 2 users. Let's delete this one. So as you can see, we have returned the data. So now back in our user side, so on success, this is a function, then it will, the data will hold the response. So we can just use if data that's success, which refers to this properties. I mean, it's a success, then we can alert. So I think we can just use window alert. Successfully deleted. Let's try if this will work. Okay, so we can just use window.alert and data. We pull the message, which is from this one, that property. So if user click the alert, then we'll reload page. I think it's possible. Window reload or refresh. Location dot refresh. Refresh, I think. Fresh using JavaScript. Reload. Okay, I think it's a location. reload. Else we can do the same, but this time we'll just alert data.message. Well, actually we can shorten this code. Yeah, we can shorten this code, but for now this will do handle the process. So let's delete. So as you can see, in good page successfully deleted, and hit the OK. Nothing happened, but if we refresh, Ingrid is now gone. So I just found out that we can't do the alert. Instead we can use confirm. So if we delete Jane Doe, so as you can see, df will say it is successfully deleted, and then if you click OK, it will refresh the page. So let's try again. Let's add a new user. Delete user, delete user, delete user. We add, and as you can see, we have a delete user here. Then we delete. We show also delete user. OK. System says successfully deleted, and should refresh, and the user is scanned. Let's double check in the database. We have 6 users, which matches the numbers in our front end. So that's it. Thank you.